All right, y'all. Welcome back to Buku Wrestling. Today we're doing our first podcast video. I'm your host, Da Vinci, and I got my co-host, Kevin Timone, right here with me. Today we're talking about the weekend we just had of wrestling. We had Heat Wave for NXT, and we also had Money in the Bank for the main roster of WWE. And while it's fresh in our minds because we're just coming off, it's the Sunday night. We're recording this, so we're just coming off a Heat Wave. I want to start with Heat Wave. Starting with the first match, Kevin, Wesley versus Oba Femi. Give me your thoughts on that first match.
So, Wesley is the greatest fight from the bottom wrestler in pro wrestling today. He is the greatest underdog. I know Sami Zayn exists. Sami Zayn is fantastic at fighting from below. He's the underdog from the underground. But
Yep.
Wesley is the cardiac kid, and he makes everything so believable, and he is so good at being the little man in a match. And in a match where Oba, as you always say, Oba has, while he's been a good wrestler, he has struggled with controlling a match.
Yes.
And he was
Yes.
able to do it, and he looked even better than he's ever looked before as an
Yes.
already monster-looking man. He came out, I don't know what he was wearing on his arms and his ankles.
The ring gear was kind of hard. The ring gear was kind of hard.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
But he looked amazing, so it looked cool anyways. Like literally
The whole production. The video when they changed it to have just the North American with him holding it in the package, I was like, okay, that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard. But I will say this:
good.
What you're saying on Wesley's points, yes, I haven't been the biggest Wesley fan, but I have always understood Wesley's talent and how he's performed in matches, and he always puts on a good match. Not the biggest fan, but he always puts on a good match. And the match he put on tonight he made Oba look dominant. And two, at some points I was like, oh, Wes is winning.
I thought Wes was gonna win.
I thought Wes was gonna win.
When they did the power bomb off the top rope.
Oh yeah.
On his feet and then went straight into his finisher off of that.
Yep. I thought it was over. But so, Oba has
starting this match.
Starting this match. Okay.
No. You're like, if you go back to the beginning of this match, they start the match and Wesley immediately out the gate, straight offense, which I was like, oh no.
Speed. I thought I had predicted it because the past couple of Oba matches, I'm like, Oba gets beat up through the whole match and then does like a little powerful move and then does his finisher powerbomb, and then that's the end of the match. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to let Wes dominate this match for at least a solid 10 minutes of him like beating up Oba rolling to the outside, dives. That's what I thought was going to happen. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, oh, Wes is getting dominated through this whole match.
It was insane. So like you said, I was watching it. I was like, oh no, Da Vinci's about to Texas. And I was like, I told you guys. He's not what everyone says he is. And I was like, oh, I see it coming. And as I was about like ready to receive that text, he hits like an F5 billion. And Wes goes probably 12 feet into the air.
I was like, oh.
Without any help. Like, Wes could not help him at all. Oba literally threw Wes up 12 feet above a rim and straight to the floor. It was the greatest F5, F10, F5000 I've ever seen in my life. It was insane. And from that point forward, any time that Wes tried to get any offense, Oba immediately shut him down and made himself look dominant.
The spot that I liked was Wes was on the apron, and he got thrown to the apron. Oba went for a leg sweep. He jumped over him. He turned around, and then the chop. I was like, oh.
So shortly after that F, like whatever that was, Wes goes up to the top rope, and Oba clocks him with like an open-handed fist off the top rope, and he flies out of the ring. I thought Wes died.
Yeah.
I literally thought Wes died. And then you get past that, Wes does like some hope spots where he jumps out, does some topes, and of course every time Oba catches him, and then one time he almost dropped him, but then he
almost dropped him
and hit him with what did he end up hitting him with? I can't remember exactly what him hit him with.
The backbreaker?
Yes, the backbreaker. That's
the
what
backbreaker.
And then they got inside the ring, and Wes immediately tried to get offense again, and he goes for a springboard, and Oba hits the greatest European uppercut I've ever seen in my life, sending Wesley into a different shadow realm. Like, I think Wes probably was knocked out for a couple of seconds when he got hit by that. And then from that point forward, Oba pretty much controlled until that last little bit where there was hope spots between the two of them.
Yeah. Now, would you say this was Oba's best match?
I think this is easily Oba's best singles match, without a doubt.
It is 100%.
This is his best.
The Ivar match was good, though. The Ivar match was good,
but not as good as this Wesley match. No. The only match that comes close is the one with Briggs and Dijak at Stand and Deliver.
Yes.
But I think as a match all around, I think this is better. That one may have been a little more fun, but this one felt more like he was able to tell a story throughout the match, that he really is a dominant champion, that even with like an underdog who has been the champion, a man who has been at the top of the hill, because this is the first time he's actually tested himself against someone who's actually been successful in the WWE. Like, this was like his first real test. Everyone else was just kind of like semi-dominant that he's faced.
We should have got a 2. We should have got a part 2. We should have had we should get a part 2. I don't think we're getting a part 2, but I feel like we should have got a part 2.
I think we can get a part 2 in a year or two.
No, because he said as long as I hold this, we should have got a part 2 North American. It should have been Heat Wave. It should have been Heat Wave, and then the next thing would have been
Great American Bash.
Great American Bash should have been if I lose, I won't challenge anymore. That should have been Great American Bash.
Like, he did already challenge once, technically, even though it was triple threat.
Yes, with Coffee. He did challenge once.
But I do think Wes is going to announce that he is going either to move up to the main roster.
He's definitely moving up.
Or that's what I'm assuming, that's what's happening on Tuesday. Definitely. I hope it goes well for him. I hope I can see him doing a short little TNA run with his Rascals. With
goes back for a little bit.
Goes back for a little bit, maybe does a run over there, comes back and debuts on the main roster. I can see that happening.
Now, I mean, I could see that happening, but I don't know the extent of NXT TNA. I don't know the extent of NXT TNA's collaboration.
Maybe he announces that Zachary Wentz is coming back and they do a short little MSK run. And then they do Axiom
Axiom Frazier
versus Wesley and what's his name?
I can see that.
Zachary Wentz. I don't remember what he used to be called on NXT.
Nash Carter.
Nash Carter. Oh my god, that was crazy.
Nash Carter.
But yeah, Oba did end up winning this match.
Oba's
best match. What Oba ended up winning off of his typical finisher, the power
bomb. No. It's not a.
It's a pickup.
Yeah, it's a pop-up.
Phenomenal. Power. Wesley looked like he died when he got pinned.
So what do you got? What do you got next for Oba? What do you have next for Oba?
I think that the next thing I do with Oba is Evans. Because I don't.
No, that's. I would say Evans, but I think we're getting Evans Spears again.
No, I think they're doing Spears' trick because Spears.
We'll get the Spear. We'll get there. Evans would be good. Evans will be good. The only thing I will say about Evans is that we just had a small guy, so we'll probably go for a bigger guy. And I don't want to say Briggs because I feel like Briggs is going to be doing something else. I think they
because they're doing the whole him coming back to NXT Tuesday, and he's like discussing how he's coming back. So they might do Brooke next.
They might do Brooke. I think I think they'll give Oba a TNA. They might give Oba a TNA. Yeah.
Josh Alexander would be really cool. I don't know if you know all about him. Fantastic. He's like very similar to Kurt Angle.
Very similar. Yeah. Is he the one with the headgear?
Yeah.
He wears the headgear? Okay. I do know some of his stuff. I know some of his stuff. That would be nice.
Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
I mean, he is the TNA crossover.
He might get a TNA crossover because I don't think we're gonna main title probably won't get the TNA crossover.
Sure, have him go over to Japan for a few months. Go to Noah.
That'd
Just
be nice.
Have Oba get off TV for a few months. have everyone from WWE fan base go watch Oba because he's pretty beloved by the fans, I'd say, after the reactions tonight.
Yeah.
But wrapping up with that match, I would say, yeah,
It was a solid match. It was a solid match.
Throughout the time we're talking about this show, what my favorite match of the night was, but I would say
we will get into
stars wise. I give this a 4.75 out of 5.
4.75 out of 5.
Close to perfect in my opinion.
See, I can't give it a 4.75. I can't personally. I think it was pretty solid. I won't like shaft it. I won't say anything like that. I think it was a really good match. Both stars, I think, performed the way they should. I would give it just a solid 4. If we're doing out of 5, I like to go out of a 10 scale. But if we're going out of 5, I'd give it a 4. Out of my 10 scale, I'd give it a 8. 8. Solid 8. Solid 8 out of my 10 scale. Heading to the next match, we have the women's North American match, which led after the men's North American match. We have Keilani Jordan and Sol Ruca. Now, this match, very mobile match. Very mobile match. I honestly rated it over the men's match because the styles actually matched together a little better than Wesley and Oba's. The reason I say their styles clashed a little better is because it's an even match. This one was an even playing field. It was no like dominant underdog. It wasn't David Goliath. It was straight up even matchup. They both have the same basic athleticism. Both have kind of similar move sets. I think this match was pretty solid.
Now, me in particular, this was the most surprising match of the night. Easily the most surprising match of the night. You go from this, like, David and Goliath scenario to these two girls who have, they said it on commentary tonight, only have 12 months between the two of them wrestling, which is a little wrong. Sol Ruca has been around for almost 2 years, I think, if I remember correctly from going to NXT.
Injury though. Injury.
Yeah, the injury took away 9 months. She was gone for a while.
Yeah,
very long time.
Yeah, so.
But like, yeah, maybe once you figure that out, it's probably around 12 months as well. Yeah, and it blew me away from the opening. They had a fantastic opening, like technical sequence where they kind of went from hold to hold to hold to hold.
The reversals in that beginning. The reversals in that beginning was crazy. And here's the thing. You might think it's like some people might think it's like too boring. Like it's just, reversing, no quick offense. They were getting quick offense in within the reversals. Because if one person reversed, the third reverse is getting into a slam or an uppercut, picked up, and then reversed again. So it wasn't like it was just like, reversal, and then everybody claps. Double drop kick. It's not that. It wasn't that.
Drop kick. What are you hinting at?
Huh?
What are you hinting at?
Stupidness. Stupidness. That's what I'm hinting at.
Sol Ruca did this thing when they got done with the locks, and then they were doing the running the ropes, and Keilani Jordan kind of rolls backwards. Sol goes through it, and instead of just doing a handstand, she kind of does like this forward motion with her hand, so her body's constantly horizontal.
When
backwards with her hands
when she does the roll, yeah.
Crazy strength from her. And then as soon as that happened, everything went off the walls. Like every move after that was like something I would never expect.
Keilani Jordan also did that too. Not the forward hand, but she did a handstand stop as well.
Did a handstand stop
yeah, she did a handstand stop as well.
It was like nothing I've ever seen before in that way. It was crazy.
It was, yeah.
Throughout this match, very back and forth. The entire time I thought Sol was going to win. I felt like I was watching this and I stopped the match to start tweeting, and I tweeted halfway through the match right after Sol did her springboard 450 clothesline. And I was like, Rhea Ripley needs to come back, win the title, and Sol Ruca needs to dethrone Rhea Ripley.
That the 450, the thing I had about that, love the clothesline. I was like, she landed. Because Keilani, I felt like was a little too far. So like she landed on her feet, and I was like, please don't make it natural to where you land on your feet. Just go into it. I wanted her to go into like the landing was the clothesline, not stop the clothesline a little bit because it was kind of like a hesitation thing. But I also was like, if this is the first time she did it, crazy, because the next 3, 4, 5 times is gonna be
better and
is gonna be better and better. And if it is 12 months between them, that's a crazy 12 months.
And then they something.
I think Dragunov would be the only person that I known that did like 2 years and then was Raw. Like when I seen him the first time, they were like
WXW.
Yeah, they were like, oh, he's only been wrestling for like a couple of years, and I was like,
really surprising too. Nathan Frazier's up there for me, and so like I guess we can talk about him in just a couple of seconds as well.
Yeah, well, we could transition to it. The one thing I want to say about the Keelani, we're not just going past it. It was really solid match. On my 10 out of my 10 scale, I give it a 8.5, just a slight edge.
I rated it. I want to say it was like a 4. I almost give the exact same score. I think I gave it a 4.5, if not a 4.75 again, because I think it was. I went into it with like in my head, I was like, oh, this match is going to be very clunky, thought it was going to be very sloppy, and as soon as it started, I was wrong.
Yeah, see, that's what I had with the Oba match. It was, I'm going into this thinking that Oba needs to do something, and then it changed my whole perspective of the match. But I will say this about Soul and Keelani. I know we're going to go to the tag match next. The thing about Soul is very talented person. Love Soul, huge Soul fan. I need you to cut more promos. The first time I heard Soul talk was in that video package about her life that she just did for this pay-per-view. Soul does not talk. If you watch NXT, and maybe I'm tripping, but I have not seen Soul stand in the ring with a mic, talk, and promote the match, because they didn't promote this match. Keelani promoted the match. Keelani promoted the match by talking. She talked to Ariana Grace and was like, no, Soul is the next person that gets the match. They had a whole conversation. Her and Ariana Grace are back in Ava's office. She had a whole match with someone else. Keelani promoted this. Soul has not promoted once. And I was like, oh, Soul's not going to win the belt because she doesn't cut promos. And that's not I'm not hating on Soul because I think Soul deserves the belt. But I'm like, Soul, I need you to talk so that when I'm talking to people, I can say, Soul deserves the belt because she's a great wrestler. She's great on the mic. She's the overall package. But I have not heard her talk. I'm not saying she can't talk.
Why she has never talked?
She's never talked.
She must not. They must not trust her. I'm assuming.
There's no way. Do you have unless you're so good in the ring that they're just like,
she's featured so often.
Yeah. There's not one word. She's talked in the back, I will say, because people are going to probably be like, well, no, she's talked in the back. She's talked in the back. That's not what we're talking about. She's probably, if she talks in the back, that's probably like 3 or 4 words. Mm-hmm. That's 3 or 4 words. I need a whole segment of you versus you. Because if you think about it, did she talk when they are all sitting there promoting the North American ladder match? The women's North American ladder match? Did she say a word, or did she be like, I mean, we're going to find out when we get there? Because if that's the case, because then they'll start fighting once that happens. Because I'm trying to think. Fallon talked. Lash talked. Mi Chin talked. Jada Parker definitely talked.
That's weird.
Jada Parker definitely talked. Keelani talked.
Yeah.
Soul said anything on the mic. And this is not against Soul. It is literally, I want you to be the champion. I want you to be the NXT Women's Champion. But can you talk? That's the question. Because I don't want you to be like no shade, like Ricochet, like a Ricochet, you know? Really, yeah, that's kind of sounded shade. Ricochet don't talk like that. Or Brock Lesnar. There we go.
Did win that match.
Keelani Jordan did win that match.
She won. And which was slightly surprising, even though what we just stated. I did expect Soul to somewhat win it. throughout the match.
Nah,
But
Keelani's solid for right now. Solid North American. She'll put that belt on.
Now back to someone who has not had much experience in the ring. Well, when he first came into WWE, Nathan Frazier. He came into WWE with only 2 years of wrestling experience, and immediately went into NXT UK. And
goat it.
I know.
Goated times. Bring back UK, please. Bring back UK. I will stop this whole episode just to talk about UK for like 10 hours. UK belt in the back right there. But
Nathan Frazier and Axiom, 2 big UK members.
So you said that last match was the surprising match for you. This match was the surprising match for me. I would say surprising match of the night. Not because the talent, but like the way, the time management of the match, the excitement of the match, the moveset of the match, just everything about this match. I was like, they're putting on a clinic. And at first I was like, okay, this match is going to be like a little, normal tag team match. I could probably chill and stuff, finish my homework and up like that. I ended up not finishing my homework in time. Well, I actually got it done in time. I got it done. But I ended up like spending more time watching this match than I realized. And one, Axiom, Duke carried this match to me. Axiom and Duke carried this match.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't think so?
I don't think anyone carried the match. I think it was a very even spread. I think Andre Chase, every time I see him wrestle, I am surprised by how good he is in the ring.
No, he's really talented.
Every time I see Duke in the ring, he surprised me how good he is. Nathan and Axiom never surprise me because they are always fantastic. But when I'm always so impressed.
I wasn't saying carrying the match like the other people slacked. I was saying carry like those were my MVPs of this match. Like
I think it was
Duke had that role when Duke was on the roll when he was going.
Duke always has that role. I gotta say though, one of the best German suplexes I've seen in my life was tonight. Obviously, he always does the spot where he's outside the ring, he jumps in the ring, and then he does the
I love that. Why did Nathan fly so far? He almost fell out. He almost fell out of the ring. I was like, oh, why did he overthrow him? Why did he throw him so far? So
good. But the match.
I thought it was gonna go chaotic when Nathan pushed Axiom, got hit, and then he super kicked Axiom. I was like, oh, here it goes. They lost the belts, and then him and Axiom were gonna fight again, and stuff. And then that didn't happen. It did not happen. And I was like, they kept it clean.
And it was the TikTok they posted after the match.
Yeah. How am I gonna see that? No. What did they post though?
Yeah, I forgot you don't have any social media. Yeah, so basically, Nathan's in the back because do you know how they've been doing this? Oh, you don't have social media. So basically, on social media, the past 3 weeks, Nathan's obviously fought for what did he fight for? The Speed title.
He fought Speed. He fought Heritage.
All this other stuff. And Axiom's been tweeting him, hey, can you focus on the tag titles? Why are you focusing on singles titles right now? All this other stuff. Like, hey, you need to keep your head in the game. You're not focused. And so it's Nathan in the back. He's like, look at me. I shined. I held everything together. And then he points the camera.
100%.
He goes, you held it down, but you super kicked. And he goes, well, yeah, but what we want.
So basically, how the more hyped how they are on the NXT when he's like, I got you, I'll watch it. But they were on the same page. I will say they were on the same page. Chase U is just a very talented team, and when they move up, they're gonna be. You don't think so?
They're not moving up together.
They're gonna move up together.
Andre Chase will never move up with that gimmick.
Yeah, he will. College football season is gonna come around. NCAA is coming out.
McAfee is going to love
Pat McAfee. Chase U.
He's going to wear a Chase U sweater on his college game day broadcasts.
It's gonna go crazy. You don't think Chase U will move up? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. I don't know if all of them will move up. I don't think all of them will move up. Him and Duke will move up together.
But there was I'd say the highlight of the match for everyone was pretty much Duke was pinning Axiom, and Andre Chase jumped off the top ropes, lands on Duke, and hits a Canadian Destroyer on Nathan Frazier to pick up the pin, to break up the pinfall. I mean, Axiom was pinning Duke.
Yeah, the step up. He stepped over. He stepped on him and did it. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah,
it was very surprising. And then Duke shortly after took a Spanish fly from
off the
top.
Yeah,
and then something happened on the outside of the ring with Duke afterwards. I can't remember what. But
I know they did they dove out to the ring. They dove outside, which they never stopped. Which Nathan did that. Did he do the first one? He did. He just stood up and then dove out. And I was like, oh, okay. Crazy. I was like, you're not gonna take a run back. Okay, you're just gonna.
No. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Why would you try to run back and forth when you could just dive out from right there? But
then, of course, he gets to end the match. After, of course, Nathan Frazier accidentally super kicks Axiom. All hell starts to break loose for a second. Nathan Frazier composes himself, takes out Duke. They get back in the ring.
Who got pinned?
They start. Andre Chase off the Golden Ratio.
Yeah, he did.
And so they held it together. They were able to still work and do double team moves. And then Nathan went and did one more tope to the outside to hit Duke. Golden Ratio, and that was the finish. They retained the titles.
Do you think they're gonna have Ridge Holland say something about this week coming up? Because I think they are. I think if they don't go up together, Duke and Riley Osborne will end up becoming a team.
I like Duke. I'm a big fan of Riley Osborne. I think
Riley Osborne is so good. And if him and Duke become a team, they'll on his own, because they're gonna have to break up Chase U eventually. They're gonna have to. Because either they're gonna have to break him up because Riley's gonna have to go on his own.
What if Andre Chase challenges Oba?
I'm here for it.
I'm here for Oba rips his shirt off.
Oba, no, he's got to pull it up. He's got to take off the whole button-up shirt. He's gonna
rip through both of them.
Oh, he's ripping through both. Oba's ripping through both. Oh. Would you be mad if Duke gets it? Duke gets the challenge?
He could challenge him, but I'd prefer Andre, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'd say do Duke and Riley on NXT and then do Andre on Great American Bash.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Duke and Andre. Duke and Andre. Duke and Riley challenging for the tag titles next. Or that'd
be fun.
Or Duke and Ridge. And then Ridge cheats. Duke and Ridge cheats. And then
Javon Evans joins Chase U. Riley Osborne, Javon Evans versus Axiom.
No. That's where we go to the next match. Right there. That's where we go to the next match. And we have the women's NXT Women's Championship. We have Roxanne Perez, the champion, going against the challenger Lola Vice. And I think this is a pretty good match. I think it was really good. I actually think it was really good. Storytelling was really good.
It's not Roxanne's worst PLE match.
It's not the greatest. It's not the greatest. The greatest. Yeah, we know what the greatest match is. We know what the greatest match is.
Looking at her last, I think her strongest defense of any title or any premium live event, any match that she's had on the PLE, besides the triple threat, her best match was the Jordan Grace match. In my personal opinion, I think that match ruled at Battleground last month.
The Miko Satomura match was good.
That was not just at NXT. Oh wait, right?
That was at NXT. Yeah. It was no. Was it
No, it was just normal NXT because she just passed out in the middle of it.
Oh, I thought it was like an event.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was like one of those. Maybe it was like, oh, Roadblock. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then they did the ladder match.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And Indy won, and then Tiffy beat. No, Tiffy put her title in the I don't know. We don't need to get into
No. Tiffy won at Roadblock. Tiffany won at Roadblock. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. I don't know. We can figure that out later. But the match.
Well, we know the timeline.
Lola Vice was okay. She was good.
Lola Vice is good. Lola Vice is good. Lola Vice is good.
She needs some work. Like, she has 4 moves she can do really well, but outside of those 4 moves, she really struggles. Any sort of like actual maneuver, slam, hold, kind of look awkward when she does.
Well, she's kind of a fighter though, so I don't expect her to do like slams.
Her strikes are phenomenal. Her strikes are phenomenal. Good.
The sleeper was nice. The sleeper was nice.
Sleeper's pretty good.
Sleeper's good.
I would say this match kind of, in comparison, the last 3 matches were probably, I was going through this and I was like, this is one of the best events I've ever watched in my life. Every single match was firing on every single cylinder. They were all on 6th gear from start to finish. None of the matches single break during them. It was almost like jarring going from those 3, then going into this match, because this felt very much like a Roxanne Perez title defense. Or
what I will say,
very slow, and then she has a fantastic final sequence.
What I will say is, we haven't talked about heel versus face or heel versus heel or anything like that, because most of the matches have been, well, the only real heel versus face match was the Oba and Wes Lee match.
But even then,
everybody,
the heel and
the storytelling for this, the storytelling itself, not in-ring storytelling, but storytelling itself from this pay-per-view was not there for like the last 2 matches. This Roxanne Lola match, it was there. That's where I was leading to. This match was there. Especially when she hit her hand on the outside and she sold the hand, the rest of the, I was like, oh, she hit her hand, sold the hand for the rest of the night. Love that.
For someone who's only been wrestling for 7 months?
Guys, why is it everybody's young? Everybody's out here. It's crazy.
Job selling. Roxanne, as someone who's wrestled for a lot longer now, I know she's still not a long time. She has wrestled for a lot longer in comparison. She did a fantastic job working the arm, and then being able to switch.
I love the awareness of the spin, the backhand, spinning backhand. The fact that Roxanne dodged it the first time, which I thought she got hit. I was like, oh, she got hit. Even though she's playing it off like she didn't get hit, she got hit. But when they showed it back, she didn't get hit. So I was like, okay, she didn't get hit. To the second time, she stopped it the second. She blocked it, right? Yeah. The second time she blocked it. Third time she got knocked out.
Yeah.
Third time she got knocked out. From that storytelling perspective, I like that you really made Lola Vice seem strong. They made Lola Vice seem extremely like.
And throughout the match, it was, I'd say I don't know if you know this term, but basically you hide the gun, but you place the gun. The gun in this match was, so basically what the gun means, that is the danger, that is the pushing narrative of the story.
Yeah.
They hid the gun very early on. The gun was Roxanne wasn't, she couldn't pull the trigger. Roxanne was very much keeping reserved. She was going slowly throughout the match. She was kind of just being methodical and going through it, wrestling a normal match. And every time she would block the spinning back fist, she'd block the spinning back fist. And then the gun fired when she got hit with that spinning back fist, because that's when she went nuts. That's when she started focusing on the arm even more. That's when she started hitting pop rocks after pop rocks after pop rocks after pop rocks.
That bit was crazy. The ending?
She threw the thing off the table. She hit a pop rocks on the table. She threw her back in the ring. She had slight offense. Pop rocks. As soon as she got hit, it's like she woke up. She realized she had the killer instinct, all because she just got woken up and she got fired up. Because that's what her character is nowadays. She's pretty much a hothead, and it worked perfect.
It works perfect. Surprised the table didn't break right there on that Pop Rocks, because that slam was hard. That slam was hard.
I was trying to figure out if it was supposed to or not.
I don't think it was supposed to, but I'm just saying.
Then a second after, I was like, oh, it was supposed to, because it looked pretty impactful.
That slam was impactful. That slam was impactful.
I kind of liked how it didn't break, because it almost made it look worse.
It almost made it hurt. Yeah. No.
And how they don't have the breakaway tables, and so every time they hit a table, it looks like it hurts even more, because it's just right.
But I will say this heel Roxanne that we have now, the viciousness from like the storytelling building wise, like, because it comes off like, okay, Roxanne cheats, like, you know, she's a little scared, whatever. Every person she's gone against, especially the last two, I'm gonna just go off the last two right now: Jordan Grace and Lola Vice, two people that are outpowering her strength wise, and stuff. So she has to use speed, but they were using her speed. Wasn't like she was outspeeding them like Nathan would outspeed him or Braun Breaker would outspeed him. She has proven that it's like, okay, boom, she's scared. The little slight opportunity she gets, she runs with it. And so what you were saying, when you were saying the hiding the gun thing, once the hand got hurt, it was full steam. Like, Roxanne is reserved, and I like this style of wrestling for her, because it's like, y'all aren't gonna believe that I'm gonna beat anybody, but when somebody messes up, it's over from there. Like, you're not stopping me, and that's a train right there. Let's just keep on the tracks.
Like, what her character points are, like, if, like, let's say they sit her down in a writer's room, they're like, this is who you are, and you're going through this match. Basically, what I boiled it down to is, basically, she goes in the match, and yes, she's this hothead, but her powers, she's not the strongest, she's obviously not the biggest, and she's quick, but she's not the fastest.
Yes.
Her thing, she is the prodigy. She is the wrestling prodigy. Yes. Her thing is wrestling IQ.
Her IQ is crazy.
Takes advantage of wrestling IQ. So those small little opportunities don't boil down to speed. It boils down to her wrestling IQ. Yeah. And that's when that hot streak hits. It's like she has like Jimmy Neutron. She goes through her brain, and it's like, and then she goes into her mode where she can take advantage of everything.
It's timing. Her timing is just there. Her ring IQ is there. Timing's there.
That's why I was. Oh, sorry. You can go.
Yeah, this is basically that I'm saying. The way that she wrestles, it's really hard to. It's really going to be hard to beat her. Mm-hmm. It's really going to be hard to beat her, and I really thought Lola was built up to beat her. I was like, now I'm thinking like, there's no one right now. Obviously, you know, they got some stuff, people in the works.
We all know secretly who.
Yeah, you know, we got some people in the works. That's what they're saying. But from where I'm at right now, Tuesday comes around, there's no one in there unless you give us Lola 2. There's no one in there that's there. There's no one in there that's there for Roxanne, because Roxanne is there. Roxanne could move up. And I would be.
Jordan Grace is the only person that I was like, okay, maybe they do something weird and surprising. They have Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace would have won that. If the other,
he would have won that match.
Not even that. If we were going based on just the match, if Tatum Paxley did not come out, there was nothing Roxanne could do. There was nothing Roxanne could do in that scenario.
I do. So, yeah, Roxanne's fantastic. She is fantastic. She is phenomenal. Fantastic. She does great every time. I'm very excited to see her on the main roster. I'm still surprised they moved Lyra Valkyrie up before her. But Lyra's been doing very good. She's already been in 2 PLEs, a singles match on a PLE on top of that.
Like, we'll get to Lyra also later tonight, or later in the podcast. We'll get to Lyra. Lyra. But
4 matches in, every match was fantastic.
Every match was like. Oh, we missed the Duke. So let's go back to the Duke and the tag match. We didn't rank that one. I honestly had that one as the best one. I would say that one was a 9. And I say that one's a 9 out of 10 or 4.5. Is that how y'all do it? Is that I like doing out of 10s. I always do out of 10s because it's easier in my brain to.
Out of 10s. Next podcast, we'll do all of them out of 10s.
Out of them out of 10s. Okay.
So basically, I gave that one 4.5, which will also be in 9. I do think out of the first 3 matches, that was my least favorite of the bunch.
That was your least favorite. I had that one as number 1 at this current moment.
Storytelling was there, and I don't think the stakes were there as like the Oba West match. And then it didn't have the surprise factor to me because I knew all 4 of those guys could go.
I knew all 4 could go. I knew all 4 could go. When I had the surprise factor, to me was this was what you said. The stakes weren't there, and it's not the main focus. And the fact that the stakes weren't there, not the main focus, and you put on equally the best match, I gotta give it to you. It's like, I mean,
And then we also had Lola and Roxanne. We also have to rate.
I give it a solid 8. I get a solid 8. I put it with the Oba. I
gave it like 3.75, which should go around like an 8-ish.
8-ish, so 3.75. I will say out of those 4, I did rank it. I ranked it 3. I ranked it 3 so far. I put it at 3.
I thought it was my least favorite match personally. I thought obviously it was great.
I still had it over the Oba. And West.
I would go back and rewatch all 3 of those first matches.
I would rewatch this
Roxanne match. I would not pick this Roxanne match to go back. I would easily go back and run that Roxanne and Jordan Grace match. I thought the match was well. I never even mentioned this when we were talking about Sol Ruca and Kalani Jordan. I think that was the second best women's wrestling match of the year. The only match I think that was better was Io Bailey.
Ooh, Io Bailey was good. Ooh.
Okay, and I guess I'm gonna kind of put the cat back. There was one other match this weekend where I do think might have been 1 or 2 for the best women's matches, but I don't know if that counts because of the implications of what that match is.
Oh, Bianca and Jade versus India and Candice. Great, yeah, great choice. Great choice.
And then I guess something that kind of you have 4 phenomenal matches on a show, and then I guess you have to kind of pull the trigger if we're running on that theme of hiding the gun on what a main event is.
The main event, okay. All right, let me get this points out of the way. Let's go to the main event match of NXT Heatwave. We have Javon Evans, the Young OG, Sean Spears. What's his nickname? Chairman?
The chairman, yeah.
Is it the chairman?
Yeah.
Okay, the chairman. I didn't want to say it and sound cringe though. That's why that's why I hesitated. I didn't want to sound cringe. Ethan Page, All Ego, and Trick Williams. Whoop that Trick, which is so funny. That's his nickname. I love it. Now, the NXT Champion Trick Williams, I should say, at this current moment that I'm saying this. Let's go into the match. Was not that much of a fan of Javon Evans. Solely not because his ring skills. I think he's just the same as Wesley. I will respect his in-ring talent. I will not say that. I just not feeling the vibe from him. Not that much.
Even after this match?
No, after this match, I will. No. After this match, I still saying the same thing. I respect him. I will never be like Javon Evans is trash. I will never say that. Same with Ethan Page. Will never say he's trash. Not liking the gimmick though. Don't like the gimmick. Theme song's kind of getting stuck in my head. His theme is kind of getting stuck in my head.
Can I say something first?
Yeah.
So you're saying Javon Evans not trash. You'll respect Ethan Page, our NXT champion.
Our NXT
Trick
champion.
Williams is trash.
You're gonna say Trick Williams is trash. Trick has improved from the first time I seen Trick to now.
Correct.
Trick has improved.
He gets carried. Like it's God.
Same as Oba. The carries are the same. I had that point. I said that point yesterday. I said it at Money in the Bank. I said it when we were all watching Money in the Bank. I said this. Trick has whole match, gets beat up, gets a lucky knee, 1, 2, 3 wins. That's Trick's roundabout thing. He also takes his hair out, does the little thing, goes into he does the book. No, he does the bookend, right? Or the rock bottom. Which one? I forget which one they say he does.
Uranagi, rock bottom, whatever.
I think. There's a difference. You know, Scorpion.
He does so bad.
Scorpion, Deathlock, and Sharpshooter.
Towards the end of this match, I texted the whole group chat. I'll read exactly what I sent to everyone.
Yeah, go ahead.
He does the Uranagi. By the way, he does it to Javon Evans. Javon Evans is probably 125 pounds soaking wet. And I text the group chat after seeing how bad he does it. Trick Williams fucking sucks. Again, fucking garbage. I don't care. He's dog shit. How do you fuck something so beautiful? Oh, that wasn't, I guess, about the Uranagi. That was about the ball. But I think
on the stupid finisher that Javon Evans does. Let's talk about that dumb finisher. Oh, wait. Oh, on the cutter.
Springboard cutter, yeah.
Yeah, the finisher's dumb. The finish
20 feet in the air to
no. I will say when he did the Spanish fly, he jumped high. Yeah. Like what he was like way higher. He was way higher on the backflip part, and I was like, oh, he's jumping super high. But
we should probably go back to the beginning of the match.
Yeah, we're like skipping through because we have our we talk about this all the time. So like we have our gripes about each part. But I will say, one, Javon Evans, change the finisher. Just change it. I hate that should be a signature. 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 I like his little. Yeah.
How do you pull that off and just be like, okay, I guess we move on to a bigger move?
I don't know. You figure it out. I'm not in the ring. I'm sitting here on the podcast.
And lands on someone.
It just looks dumb. It looks like Eddie Thorpe's like elbow drop. Dumb. That's how dumb it looks.
I guess we can move back to the beginning of the match. The match starts off. You immediately go into, of course, they try to do a 4-person, get everyone together.
I did like the dive out to the ring. I like the dive out to the ring.
And then Ethan Page and Sean Spears get into the ring together. They do a stare-off. The whole crowd chanting 10 because they're doing the AEW stare-off. And they act like they're going to go for each other, but then they both poke each other in the eyes.
Did you think the 10 was from the AEW standoff? Because I was thinking they was just chanting 10 because he was Ty Dillinger. He was the perfect 10.
No, it was because of the Ty Dillinger.
No, yeah.
But because they started just cheering at first because it was just like, haha, funny. 2 of them were in AEW. And then they just started doing the 10s.
I thought they were cheering because they were Canadian.
I guess so.
Yeah. I'm not giving that other thing.
And so basically that happens, and then they all get back in the ring, and they go to do a 4-person spot in which it's supposed to go from. So Trick Williams is on the floor. Sean Spears is doing him about to do the wheelbarrow launch.
Oh, he did mess up on that part.
Goes to jump off the rings. He slightly misses, but they still sell it. So Sean Spears goes back, and Trick Williams is supposed to launch and do a neck breaker. Trick Williams can't get himself off the floor. He starts falling. He falls the other direction, remembers he has to go over, falls the other way, and does a neck breaker. The worst looking spot I've possibly ever seen in my entire life.
Wes missed the springboard earlier in the beginning of the match. I'm not defending Trick. I'm just saying we weren't calling botches earlier.
No, but Wes saved it is the difference.
I think, okay, I will say, okay, that was a bad spot for Trick. But when Trick had his moment, when he was going off, he was going off.
He hit 3 side kicks and a Uranagi.
The Uranagi was nice. He also did the off the rope comeback. The double face plant was good.
It's all right at best.
No. When he got off and he did solid. We know the level that Trick's at. We just said he improved from where he was at. Based on the level he was at, Trick did not do bad in this match.
If we had Carmelo Hayes in NXT for 3 years, Trick needs to be in there for 7.
He's too popular. Trick was the most popular person in that match. Trick had the biggest pop in that match.
So. Yes,
Trick had the big Canada. In Canada.
I guess so.
Trick had the biggest pop in that match. Number 2, I don't think he was the best performer in that match. I do not think he was the best performer.
I
I would
if I
never
was
say that.
I think Shawn Spears was.
He was pretty good. I was
I
thinking
think
Shawn
Shawn
Spears. I think he
Spears
was,
and Javon Evans were the two highlights of the
yeah.
match.
Siobhan Evans and Shawn
Weirdly
Spears.
enough,
I
neither
would
of
have
them
gave
were
it to Javon Evans. Actually, he did a lot in that match.
He
He
did a
he
lot.
did a lot in that match.
He almost died.
When he
He almost died. Went
when
to
he
the
couldn't.
announce table.
Yeah, I was about to say he didn't jump and hit the announce table. When he
That
short.
was insane.
When his
That
whole
was
ribs got broke.
Yeah, and he continued to wrestle after.
He did continue.
But yeah,
I
basically,
was surprised on the lack of Ethan Page doing a lot of stuff.
he did almost nothing.
He did nothing. And then what was up with him not being able to get he couldn't get Trick up on the
Trick's a big boy though.
I'm just saying sometimes that gets me though. Sometimes that gets me. It's like, come on, pick him up.
Page needs a new finisher. I think he has the worst razor's edge or a cross spot or whatever you want to call it.
He doesn't fall with it. He doesn't fall with it. He just throws.
It sucks. And it just kind of seems like they float down.
It's because he just throws them.
After that spot where they do all four people in the ring, they basically each get spots throughout the match where they
love the chair spot. Shawn Spears' chair spot.
Shawn Spears had the first highlight of the night where he gets in the ring with the chair. They first stop him, and then they get into it. And he hits everyone with the chair, and then Javon Evans goes to jump off the ropes, and he Foley is going backwards off of a springboard, and mid-air, he catches a chair to the back from Shawn Spears. Sounds so loud, looks so painful, and is caught beautifully. And Shawn Spears, they must have practiced it a million times, because as soon as he hit it, he was so happy that he hit it correctly. Then after that, I think you went into the spot where it was Ethan Page then having slight offense on the outside of the ring. And then that's when Javon Evans went and jumped from the inside of the ring over the ring post.
Hit Trick.
Through Trick, through a barricade.
Which nice.
Is like the Montez Ford spot times 10. And it was insane.
I talked about that spot too, because I was like, oh, Montez wouldn't have grabbed the ropes. Montez would have jumped over. But no, that was a good spot. They had a spot where everybody was doing super kicks at one point.
Yeah.
And Shawn Spears kicked. He kicked Javon Evans in the face, and I was like, that is a great super kick. Oh gosh. He kicked him in the face.
After that super kick, I texted in the group chat. I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but Shawn Spears is really.
Is that what that was? That the spot you? Is that what you were talking about? Because I was like, oh, it might be some. Because I thought I was kind of a little behind. I think I was behind Curtis. Because I'm always behind Curtis every time.
Behind Curtis too.
Yeah, Curtis has like the greatest Wi-Fi. He has the greatest Wi-Fi for some reason. He's like in the stadium. He's always ahead of. He's always ahead every spot, and so. I was like, oh, there must be another spot. And then I thought it was the Spanish Fly, I think was right after that. After they did the super kick. So I was like, oh, it's the Spanish Fly spot. And then Trick's knees are good. I don't know if you don't the running knee. He has one of the best. He has one of the best running knees right now.
Best, but like it's hard. Like you said last.
Because when he
running knee, and everyone does running knee nowadays.
That's why I said like when everyone does running knees now, I'm like, stop. Trick does it. Let Trick have it. His is nice. His looks better than Sheamus's.
There's two knees in the world that should only be the knees. One knee in each company. Kenny Omega should only do knees in AEW, and Tommaso Ciampa should only do knees in WWE.
But Tommaso's not finishing with knees. I mean, except for when they meet in the middle. That's the only.
Tommaso's look so much better than Trick. Trick's just a lot bigger than Tommaso.
Nah, because the one he did on Javon Evans, the knockout one was nice. That one was nice. And then the one he did to Ethan Page, it was kind of weird because he was just standing and he's never done it just standing straight up, which was weird. But I mean, it's pretty cool. If we go off the ending, surprising ending.
So basically, the ending goes where Trick had a lot of offense. This is when he had the sidekick, Uranagi. They go outside the ring. They start brawling again. This when Javon Evans almost dies to the outside of the ring. He gets back in the ring. He does his finisher, the spinal tap. And then Trick hits the Trick knee, correct?
Yes.
No.
No.
Or
They get it. They get it broken. They get it broken up.
Off the top earlier in the match, right after he did the dive outside the ring.
Yes. Then they get it. Trick does the offense.
Trick does a finisher of some sorts on Ethan Page. And then
what? Okay, so this is how it gets there. We'll just get to that spot. Javon Evans, Shawn Spears gets thrown out. Ethan Page has Javon Evans about to set him up.
Oh, it does this finisher on Javon Evans.
Does it? Javon Evans kicks out. No. Shawn Spears does the fireman's carry. Ethan Page throws Shawn Spears out, goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3, kicks out, goes to pick him up, is about to throw him in the corner. He gets him to the corner on the side. I think he's gonna do his finisher. Trick runs in, hits the knee. Ethan Page moves out the way, hits Javon Evans, then hits a knee on Ethan Page. Ethan Page falls back. And then Shawn Spears grabs Trick.
Pulls him out.
1, 2, 3.
Ethan Page surprisingly is the new NXT champion.
Surprisingly, the new NXT champion based on a knockout. Will I say it's the best ending? No. Will I say it's a dominant ending? I don't think it was a dominant ending for anyone after you just had everybody going at war. I think it's
great way to finish a match in which you have stories going out of it.
You kept stories going out of it. No one looked. You
cannot do another PLE with Trick in a main event in a singles match.
No one looked. Like they all look dominant, and when I say no one looks dominant, I mean like no one came out of this match. Ethan Page did not look like the biggest like.
Shawn Spears came out looking like a bigger star, not like a bigger star, but like.
Would you say this is what I would say? This is what I would say. Do you think four NXT champions were built in that night? Trick's already an NXT champion. Do you think 3 NXT champions were built in that night? 3 NXT champions or 3 NXT singles champions competitors?
I think
that's what I'm getting. That's the question I'm asking.
Let me run through this real quick. I believe what happened was you asserted Shawn Spears as a dominant man who is still as good as wrestling as he used to be, can still be trusted on to have the shining performance, to look the most dominant throughout the night, and just be that figure. If you need him to go into a title match, he can step into that title match. He's a little too old to be NXT champion at this point.
So you still got him as a contender, though. So
if they put him in a match and he wins the NXT title after tonight, I'd be thrilled, because seeing 25-minute Shawn Spears match at the end of a pay-per-view would probably be pretty nice after seeing 4 Trick Williams 25-minute matches at the end of a pay-per-view. And then Ethan Page, I believe, put him in there with the right guy. He could probably pull out one match that we could think about for quite a while. I do believe that he is going to shine when he has that title, and he goes out and he talks on the microphone, and he does start a feud with someone that is maybe not so thought about in that title picture. Like maybe Wesley comes out there, he's all like Mr. Cocky, and Wesley's like, you need to be humbled, and then somehow Ethan pulls out a tricky heel finish. I think they could pull off something really nice there. And then Javon Evans, I believe, came out of it looking the best of the bunch. I believe that he had all the best spots throughout the match, from when he almost died on the announce table, from his, I think it's his best looking springboard.
I don't think
outside the ring, his little quick bursts against Trick throughout the match, all of it looked very good. And then Trick, he had, once again, he only had one spot you've talked about the whole time, the one little hope where he had the 3 side kicks, he had the 2 double things, and then the awful Uranagi. I think he's going to go back down the card. He's going to come out to cut promos.
There's no way. He's not going to go down the card. There's no way.
I don't think he'll ever be NXT champion again.
I think he comes out too. I think he's a 2-time NXT champion. I think he leaves, if that's kind of far away, But what's the next? Like the next mid like thing in between here and there, he will. Because there's no way he's gonna be NXT champion by the time Rumble comes. So November, he'll be NXT champion again. Because he's gonna come out at the Royal Rumble as the NXT champion. I guarantee I have that faith. I won't say I guarantee, I have that faith. Unless Ethan Page's run goes crazy, Trick's 2-time NXT champion.
I'll say this right now. When Trick had that match with Ilya, I had so much confidence in Trick. I saw this man. Everyone the next day was like, "Oh, the company's in such good hands. We're gonna have Trick. He's a future main eventer of WrestleMania." Of course, we already had Braun and Carmelo, who we already knew that for years. Trick is the next one. I agreed with that. He was killing it. He did a great job, and then he quickly had one more match with someone who was not Ilya Dragunov. I was disappointed. And then
I think he would have been solid with
matches with Carmelo, and they both suck.
I think he would have been solid with Noah. I think actually
Carmelo stank up Stand and Deliver. Trick and Carmelo was an awful main event. I walked away from that. Oh, thank God we have WrestleMania to go to in 3 hours.
Storytelling
going
was
into
there.
that match was great, but the match had no storytelling in it. Trick randomly won on a random knee. No dominant.
That's a normal Trick match.
No, but
I will say this.
This is a grudge match. This is the breaking
up. I will say this.
Building this huge blood feud and no aggression was shown.
I will say this. NXT right now needs to build everyone else up to match these guys, because right now the way the landscape is going, and I want to make a more in-depth talk about the roster and everything like for another video, but I will say the way that it's going, that's why I asked you, did they build championship contenders?
Yes, 100%.
So you think Javon, Spears, and Trick will still put Trick there, can take Page to Stand and Deliver?
I think Javon will be, and if I were a betting man, Javon is leaving Stand and Deliver as NXT champion.
Oof. Okay. I don't have an NXT. I don't have. If I had, really, I had Trick. I had in my brain. I said Trick's relieving with the belt at Stand and Deliver, but most likely I say he's gonna have the belt by Rumble. If he has the belt by Rumble, I think we leave Stand and Deliver. If we don't have a new guy, if it's not either Oba, I think either Oba, Wes, or Page. Javon is North America. Javon is North. Javon's winning that North American title at Stand and Deliver. I don't even think he's in the NXT title match. I think he has the North American title.
Last year, I thought Ilya was going to stay on NXT for a bit longer, wait for Wes to come back, and I thought Wes was going to be Ilya for the title.
Wes will get the title by the end of this year.
I think he's going to win the Iron Survivor, Wes.
Yeah, he has to.
And I think a really fun match for Stand and Deliver would be Wes Javon for the title.
No. Javon's in the North American. Wes is getting the NXT title, and it's probably going to be Wes Oba again. Wes Oba.
I'll give that. Wes Oba is fantastic.
Wes Oba. Repeat. Exact same match. Different outcome.
Interesting.
Instead of that power bomb going off at the end, Wes reverses it. Does like a Hurricane Rana. Comes off. Boom. Yeah. Cardiac kick. 1, 2, 3. Different outcome.
So, now that we say all this, what was your match of the night?
Personally, match of the night has to be the tag match. Nathan Axiom versus Chase U. That's the match of the night. Based on the level of what I expected, how the match turned out, excitement level, it kept my attention the whole match. I would say that has to be the best match.
I would say my match of the night was Oba versus Wesley. I loved that match. That was like everything I want out of a wrestling match. I'm a big fan of giants dominating matches. Obviously, my favorite wrestler is Gunther. It is exactly what I wanted out of a match. This is what I can't wait to see Wes do against Gunther. Hopefully in a year and a half down the road on some random premium live event where they just go for 25 minutes and have Gunther dominate him, and somehow Wesley keeps coming back, and then he gets shot to death. Fantastic. It was a great match. It was so good. Even though that Fatal 4-Way, God.
The Fatal 4-Way got close for you? I would say if the closest match they got for me would be Soruka Keilani Jordan would be the next closest.
Soruka Keilani Jordan
would have been the next closest.
They were neck and neck.
If we had more storytelling, it would probably be more outside storytelling. More outside storytelling. That's match of the night.
I agree.
That's the match of the night, and it doesn't even have to. I mean, from announcers being like, these two want to prove who the best truly is. These friends want to prove truly the best, and whatever outside storytelling you want to say, because I know if they get a part 2, it's gonna go crazy.
I agree.
It has to, because this first one went crazy, so it's like you gotta go crazier. Yeah, and so. If I had to pick the least favorite match, it'd probably be because they were all solid. Least favorite, I would say the Fatal 4-Way. I would say the Fatal 4-Way. I'll go least favorite.
This is hard for me. I thought every match was fantastic.
Yeah.
So this was okay.
That was hard too.
This was the best WWE event of the year outside of WrestleMania, without a doubt in my mind. We even went to Rumble. I thought this was better than Rumble. I thought this was better than every other show of the year besides WrestleMania, just because this was the WrestleMania, I feel like, of the past 20 years almost.
Yeah.
And so it was perfect from top to bottom. This card was so good, but Roxanne and Lola was the only one where I could. It wavered for me. It was obviously Roxanne's fantastic. The match was great. It was just I wanted a little more, just a little more.
Okay, that's pretty solid. And going from that, let's head to the main roster, Money in the Bank. We had our thoughts for Money in the Bank. I know we were both there at the watch party for Money in the Bank, sitting next to each other, talking the whole time, talking about random stuff, because Money in the Bank was not a great pay-per-view. It was not. It was. Oh my gosh! I left. As you guys don't know, me and Kevin, for you guys, we don't live close to each other. So just imagine, I had to drive to the location to watch this, right, with everybody. And on the drive back, I was like, I'm so mad that we got together. We finally all got together to watch a show in a while. And this was the show we got together to watch, because Money in the Bank was rough to get through. If you don't know, the first match was the men's Money in the Bank briefcase match. And the contestants, we had Drew McIntyre, we had Jey Uso, we had LA Knight, we had Chad Gable, we had Andrade, and we had Carmelo Hayes. Seems solid people in that match. Solid people that could handle a match all by themselves. Everyone could work together. The match.
Don't cut it short. The match was fantastic.
I wasn't cutting it short. I thought you were going to say something. I was going to say the match was good. What we're surprised on. No. I'm not even surprised on the ending. Drew wins the briefcase. Not surprised. Little surprised, because I thought CM Punk was going to interfere here, but we'll get to CM Punk's interference later. Drew wins the briefcase. Match was solid. Chad Gable, when he threw LA Knight.
Is it Chad Gable? But when Chad Gable did that belly and belly,
I would have to say Chad. I was trying to think of who did a lot of stuff.
Crazy spots with ladders during this match. Absolutely. Okay, I will say this. This is probably the best men's Money in the Bank match in years. Typical match-wise, I think this is probably the best men's Money in the Bank in years.
Baron Corbin killed Rey Mysterio during the pandemic.
But the stuff that mostly Carmelo Hayes and Andrade were able to do in this match with
Melo and Andrade did that.
ladders was insane. From slamming each other into ladders, from throwing the ladders at each other, from hitting them on. Oh
I
my
couldn't
God,
say
jumping onto someone on a ladder to then doing the sunset flip powerbomb. Of course, Andrade loves to do onto a ladder.
the fact that he moved the briefcase and was just like, all right, move, and dove.
Easy.
But
I like he was pushing him during it too. And so he had to do it really quick and not think about it.
I thought he swung off it at first. I thought he like held it and was just like, all right, I'm gonna just swing off it and then go.
Also a spot where Chad Gable was holding on to the Money in the Bank, and Jay moved the ladder.
And then just let him fall. The 2K animation. The 2K animation. The 2K animation when you hold the briefcase too long. He definitely did that. I was just like, okay. Because we were sitting there. We were sitting there and I was like, is he gonna spear him? And then he didn't climb the ladder. He didn't climb the ladder. So I was like, okay, he's not gonna climb up the ladder and spear him that way. And I was like, he's gonna spear him from the turnbuckle. And that's crazy.
I thought he was going to. They're just going to try to time it so Chad Gable is falling and Jay catches him in a spear as he was falling.
No. He would have killed him.
I liked that he just fell. I thought that was insane.
He should have fell, and I know this would have been hard. Fell, popped up, and then spear. But that would have been hard. That would have been hard because
the best spot of the match though was besides Chad Gable, belly to belly.
Yeah.
One of the most shocking, Drew straight up just threw the ladder.
Okay. I thought you weren't gonna say that. I thought you were gonna say that.
Threw the ladder at Chad Gable at the top of the ladder, hitting him right in the face.
Drew hit he hit, I think Jay.
One of the two. He hit someone.
He hit Andrade with a Claymore out of nowhere earlier in the match. Early in the match. Early in the match, like Andrade I think he like put the ladder down and then he just Claymore, and I was like, oh, okay. Drew's going off.
But it was a typical like WWE, everything was crazy.
The thing about this ladder match the briefcase did not come into play until towards the end. They spent like 20 minutes fighting. And I was just like, okay, this is cool, but like no one had urgency to get the belt. I mean, the belt.
Goes, are they gonna remember the briefcases above the ring?
I'm like, no one's spending urgent. No one cares about the briefcase. No one. I was like, this is just a normal thing, and the thing with that's cool because we got to see a lot of cool spots with ladders and like a lot of cool fighting. But I was just like, the match is about the Money in the Bank. Please go after that. LA Knight. I mean, he's got the Logan fight coming up, so I wasn't surprised he didn't win. Jay, you got to do something with Jay. I know Drew and Jay are your favorite wrestlers of all time, Kevin, and I can't wait for that Mania match between Drew and Jay so you can be front row for that. But throw a trick in there also. But I do think Jay should have won. Jay should have won. Even if I mean, look at the result we ended up with. Right? Are you mad with the result we ended up with?
Melo should have won that match. Melo should have won that briefcase.
Speaking of Melo is kind of struggling on SmackDown right now. He's not getting it. He's not feeling it. He's not fitting in. And I've been thinking this for the past since he's moved up.
He needed the Money in the Bank.
He's not hitting as hard. He's not hitting as hard.
It would have given him something.
He's not developed. He's not in ring. He's not developed as his superstar status is not developed. He's not like Braun. He's not like Ilya.
Like crazy with that Money in the Bank. He could have came out. He would have talked all the shit in the world with that briefcase in his hand. He would have.
He had the hype. You didn't need the briefcase. You had the Cody match. The first night you had the Cody match. Run with it. Then you had the Cody match going into Baron Corbin. Cody Baron Corbin versus Ilya.
Jay Uso should have won.
Huh?
And Jay, you're saying that should happen, but Jay Uso should have won after Jay has lost like 12 World Championship matches, including an Intercontinental Championship opportunity
against Gunther. He
lost it. He lost a World Heavyweight Championship match against Damian Priest. He lost against Seth like 3 times. He's lost against Roman a million times. He has lost against Seth like 5 times. Like, he does not deserve another shot.
I mean, it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard. Choice-wise, looking at the people in that match, it was kind of hard because not everyone in that match deserved it, right? There's some people that deserved it more. Everyone in that match could have used it, but everyone in that match has the potential to get that opportunity for themselves. Jay really is the only one who potential to get that opportunity for himself is shrinking. Him and LA Knight's potential to be world champions is shrinking from where they were. Because Melo, his championship status is right here, right? Because he's new.
Yeah.
Andrade just came back. It's pretty much like right here. It's pretty much right here.
If I were to guess, I think LA Knight somehow pulls out a world championship reign before he retires. I don't think Jay ever wins a world heavyweight championship.
Jay won't win.
I think Melo,
well, it depends on how they're going to do this world heavyweight championship because you got Priest to win it. So once Priest won it, it's fair game. Oh,
Gunther's winning in SummerSlam.
Who do you think is going to beat Gunther? Probably Ilya not Ilya. Probably Breaker. I say Breaker.
Okay, hear me out.
I say Breaker. Breaker.
I have a good idea. This is completely going off the rails right now. Julius Creed. Hear me out.
Julius is raw.
So obviously it's Gunther. You can't have him losing. You can't just have him obviously Gunther, his first defense.
We won't get Julius until 5 years. 5 years later.
This is going to be like a 1.5, 2 year scenario.
5 years.
So his first defense will be against Ilya, obviously, at Bash in Berlin. It'll be fantastic. You think Gunther's going to lose on his first defense. Somehow Gunther pulls it out. Time passes. Gunther keeps winning. He beats Cena. Keeps winning. Beats all these names. Beats Randy again. Beats Cody at some point. Beats all these names. Julius Creed, throughout this time, he joins Chad Gable. They form the Olympians. They're
the world's greatest tag team.
They're the face of America. And then Julius turned on Brutus and Chad. Well, or maybe someone turns on someone, and Julius becomes the standout, and he is the face of America. And they run it, and they do it, and they bring together.
Brutus turns on Julius, obviously.
History.
History.
Yeah, Julius Caesar. And Julius is like the face of America. He is winning match after match after match after match, and finally they have a huge build.
We're not getting them till 5 years. 5 years later. 5 years. 5 years later. Julius won't be a sing. We won't get them in
Kurt Angle.
5 years later.
Julius is next Kurt Angle.
5 years later. Julius
is better than Chad Gable.
That's a bold statement because Chad is raw.
Well, maybe not right now.
Yeah, okay. Let's stop it right there because I love Julius. He strong, he killing, not good in it. Chad is raw, and Chad should have been IC champ. He should have beat Sammy.
Chad should have beat Sammy.
It should have been Chad. It should have been Chad. Should have beat Gunther. It should have been Chad. It should have been Chad Breaker at Money in the Bank, and then Breaker beats Chad.
So, speaking of that, what was the next match?
That is the next match.
That is the next match.
Sammy
Perfect.
and match of the night.
Disappointingly, and that's not true. But
to me, it was. To me, it was.
Breaker goes into this next match facing Sami Zayn, in which he should have squashed Sami Zayn, and he lost clean after a long match. It was a good match. It was a fantastic match, actually. It was great in ring work.
I think it was match of the night. Not that many. Not hiccups. There wasn't really any hiccups that I could solidly see.
It's Sami Zayn though. He doesn't. If he has a hiccup, it looks like it was on purpose.
It would look like it was on purpose. Breaker still looked dominant. Sammy looked strong. It wasn't like Breaker was just beating him. They were going back and forth, throwing hits. At one point, Breaker almost did a backflip. We thought. He just jumped up and broke his knees, but he broke his knees.
In the match.
I already knew.
They should have pulled the
Nope.
trigger.
Because with our another member in the Boo Crew, Tony, you guys know the GOAT Tony. He's on GM mode. Go check those videos out. The GOAT Tony had the whole plan, and he called it from the start that what was gonna happen. And he said Sammy was gonna win. We all looked at him like it was crazy. Sammy did end up winning. Breaker's gonna go on a tear Monday.
Only reason I think he won is because they're waiting for SummerSlam, and they're gonna run it back because it'll be 10 years of Brock Cena. It'll be the 10-year anniversary of Brock squashing Cena, and then they do the exact same match as like an homage.
Yeah,
and Braun beat Sammy in that way.
Braun's gonna destroy Sammy.
17 suplexes, 16.
Yeah,
yeah, they do that.
Braun.
Be fantastic.
Would you be mad if Braun gets close to Gunther's reign?
I don't think that.
No one's going to. Breaker's gonna drop it.
I don't think Braun would benefit from that. I believe Braun should win this title, and then maybe get stripped of it. I know that's stupid, kind of cop-out booking, but something should happen where maybe he gets screwed out of the title, or like someone interferes and makes him lose the title, but then he gets moved.
I can see Braun Gunther. I can see Braun Gunther next year.
I can see Braun Gunther next year. Like next year SummerSlam.
Next year SummerSlam. Next year Mania.
I think Cena's winning the Rumble.
I think. No. Oh no.
He talked about the title last night.
No. I think we get Cena.
Cena Cody or Cena Gunther at Mania.
We get Cena. We'll probably get Cena Cody. We're getting Gunther Seth Mania. That's Mania.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it is. Seth and Punk. Seth
Punk is Mania.
Then we'll get Gunther Drew again. We'll get Gunther Drew, Ilya Braun.
I think Drew will. This might be fun. Chad Drew Mania.
That's a waste.
I've never seen it. Do you do it for the IC title?
No. If you're doing anything for the IC titles, Chad Sheamus. Sheamus is getting it before he goes out.
Yeah, I like that. Chad Sheamus for the IC title.
Drew Gunther, Braun, Ilya.
We have gotten off the beaten path.
Yeah, we're back to the Sammy match that I think is the best match.
It was a Sammy match. It was everything you'd expect from a Sammy match. Braun had offense.
That match is point for point. When they announced that match, like pre-announcing the match, just setting up that match, like point for point, I already knew what the match was gonna be. So perspective-wise, that's why I think it was the best match. It was really there was anything new. There was nothing new that I would expect. It's a comfortable match in a card that I thought was chaotic and not that great. It was a comfortable match in my brain. That's what makes it a match.
Surprising how balanced it was. It was. Everyone thought that Braun was going to control the match. I have seen lots of people on Twitter calling Sammy Hulk Hogan, and that he is Super Cena-ing it right now, which I disagree with. I believe they're just trying to make him strong because I believe they're moving Sammy back into the world title picture.
Which I don't think he needs to be.
I think Sammy will lose the Intercontinental title SummerSlam.
He needs to stay
win
IC.
The world title sometime next year.
No, he needs to stay with this IC. IC. Yes, he does. He does not need the world title. He doesn't need it.
Yes, he does.
No, he does
Sammy, not. That is going to be one of the best moments in wrestling history when Sammy finally.
If he doesn't win at a Mania, then it's no point.
He will. I don't think he'll win at Mania this year.
Well, then there's no way, because the people in line, if we don't go Mania this year, right? The people in line that you have to win world titles, in my opinion, Breaker, Ilya, Mello, those are three. So you would throw Sammy in there, right? You also are taking away people that already won it. Priest, is now up there. You're taking away Seth, Drew. If we're gonna build Chad, we're gonna build Chad. Uncle Howdy's gonna be potential, and he probably won't be. He probably
I
won't.
don't think Howdy will be around any titles.
He won't be around, even if he's not around. That's 8, and I'm pretty sure I threw Sammy in there. One of those 8.
Did you throw Cena in there?
Cena, Solo is getting built to be in the title.
Did you add The Rock?
Rock, Roman's coming back. There's too many people. There's too many people. And then you still got NXT people that need to come up, and obviously they're going to take their time. But there's no way that you go, how many Manias? How many Manias would you give Sammy? Because he's main evented. He main evented. He main evented one Mania, and he won the IC belt at the next Mania against the longest reigning IC champion. So that means if he skips this Mania and then the Mania after that gets the world title, that means from WrestleMania, what? 39?
Before this year ends.
I think Sammy loses. I think Sammy loses, and then he kind of chills for a little bit.
Getting back to the match.
No, it's comfort food for me. It was comfort food.
It was comfort food. I love Sammy. He did a great job. I can't wait to see what he does at SummerSlam. I think he's losing it at SummerSlam, whatever he does at SummerSlam. I do think Braun needs to do something, though. You built him up very weird, where he was just beating jobbers, and then you moved him into this feud where it seemed like he should have ran through his opponent.
He should have fought Ilya at one point. He should have fought Ilya.
I think they're saving Ilya to lose, because I think they're going to build him up for Bash and Berlin, and they're going to face Gunther at Bash and Berlin.
He did really good in that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was the star. He was the star in that. Moving on to the next match, the World Heavyweight Championship, which we were just talking about, world titles. Priest, Seth Rollins. Now, I like Priest. Big Priest guy.
I like Priest.
Big Priest guy. I like Priest, and I lost my mind when he won the title at Mania.
I didn't like Priest when he was Money in the Bank. I
didn't like him as
until he won the title.
His
first entrance. Well, okay. Backing this up, I hate Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is like my least favorite wrestler ever.
Love Drew.
When he came out and took the title from Drew McIntyre, immediate fan.
I like Priest when he stopped doing karate moves.
Entrance on that Raw after Mania, wearing that beautiful suit with that title, new Tron and new theme music. Holy shit!
I like Priest, especially when he stopped doing the karate moves as much. When he came back, when he got up. After I liked Priest after he stopped doing that Damien and Priest gimmick where he was half Damien, half Priest.
I know.
That was horrible. But Judgment Day Priest, basically Judgment Day Priest, I have been 100% behind Priest. One thing I will say about this title run, though, one, he's too nice, and that's because he's trying to go face. They're just taking a long time for him to go face and for Judgment Day to break up. They're taking forever. 2, stop complimenting every single opponent. Stop it. Seth Rollins, you're the greatest wrestler I've ever seen wrestle. Gunther, I know you could fight, man. You beat up everybody. You had the belt for a long time. Drew McIntyre, oh my gosh, I know if that Claymore hits me, you're going to be so great. Stop doing that. Number 3, right? I'm saying a whole bunch of points, but number 3, when you're having matches and people are interfering, he's got the bloodline syndrome or something. Ref gets knocked out, he gets knocked out, someone comes and interferes, he wakes up like nothing happened. Like, Priest, please let him win properly how he's supposed to win properly. He's not a heel that is, oh, I'm too weak to win. You know what I mean? Like, Miz is my favorite. Miz is my favorite wrestler. He's not the Miz. He's not the Miz. Where it's like, oh, Miz somehow won. Like, no, let Priest win solidly. Let him win solidly.
My problem is that I agree. Priest has not had that victory that makes him feel like a dominant champion. He won it off of Money in the Bank catch-in after a very long match and in a blindside attack. He has had interference in the Jey Uso match. Oh, no?
Yep.
Yes. What
Yes, he
happened in that
did.
match?
Jay got the super kick.
Yes.
Jay got the super kick, got the
And
spear, and I think he went for the splash.
yes.
And then the ref was
And
knocked out.
yeah.
Finn came
And
out.
then
Finn came out, and they came out. Braun Strowman came out.
so that happened.
That
And
happened
then
like 3 times. That happened 3
obviously
times.
Drew Punk happened, and then obviously here again, Drew happened.
Punk
Very
happened.
sad. Punk, both of them happened. It's
Yeah.
just very unfortunate.
And they should have gave that to Drew.
But going into this match, like the actual match content, so this is Seth Rollins' first match back after injury. I think it was a smart play bringing him back right where he left off, getting him his rematch, and then setting it up because I believe everyone thought in their heads that Seth versus Gunther was a better option than Damian versus Gunther.
I had that in my head.
That being said, when Seth came back, he was already not moving the best he's ever moved, but he was moving, I'd say, even slower than he was when he was in his last run as the world champion. It's sad to see because obviously we all who watched him grow
Seth is
and
my
become
favorite
who he
modern.
was unbelievable in the ring. And even with him moving slightly slower, he did a fantastic. He was able to move the story further. He was able to do all the cool moves, everything that you want to in a match. He was still able to do it. It wasn't the greatest match in the world, but it was very good. It had a story through it. I loved that they were able to focus on a story beat the whole time. Obviously Drew announced if he wins the Money in the Bank, he's going to cash in tonight. So every time someone got the upper hand, they looked up at the stage to see if he's coming, and before they went to go do another move, which I thought was fantastic attention to detail and something that would have never happened during the old regime. And that is what I like in wrestling, small details. It was great. It was fantastic watching that go throughout. And then, of course, they do this spot throughout the match where they do, of course, Seth does his superplex. They go into the Falcon Arrow. Priest blocks it, tries to do a Falcon Arrow, and then Seth ends up doing the Falcon Arrow. Priest is on the floor. 1, 2. The ref's got to count 3, and Priest forgets to kick out.
I seen somebody say that Priest got a concussion. He got knocked out from the knee.
Not true at all.
I don't believe that was true at all. I didn't see.
I know you haven't been on social media. Triple H got to talk about it last night during the press conference.
Oh, what did he say?
He said that we all make mistakes. He said we all make mistakes, and I wish I could just put my arm around his shoulder, and I wish that he could I could take his phone from him because I know he's pissed off at himself. And that it happens to all of us.
He didn't get concussion.
He didn't.
I didn't see signs of like a concussion because it looked straight. As
soon as that happens, he rolls over on his face, and you can tell he's just like
he's
something
done.
happened.
He's out. He's zoned out.
Done. He's out of the match because now he's in his own head. And Drew McIntyre's music hits. He comes down with the briefcase. He hits a Claymore, and then CM Punk comes out. And basically, CM Punk has the best looking beatdown I've seen in a very long time, but making it look very realistic. And then starts electrical cords, puts him in the ring, hits him with the
should have been fired.
It should have been fired, but it wasn't a tie, fortunately.
It wasn't a tie.
Hits him with the belt. Seth does not hit him with a stomp.
He does the ugly stomp. No. That was earlier in the
match. That's a really bad stomp.
Yeah, he jumps. He did like a sit out stomp.
Yeah,
it's just so crazy.
And then Damian Priest ends up hitting the South of Heaven.
Now, I would at one point CM Punk grab the belt and he hit Drew with the belt.
Yeah.
From the outside into the inside. He hit him with the belt. At that point, because I didn't see Drew get in the ring, I thought Punk grabbed the belt, looked at the belt, and was like, this could be a fatal 4-way. Which I was like, that doesn't make any sense. How would that be possible? But I thought they were gonna I was like, what if they just let Punk pin Priest right here and roll out with the belt and call it a day, right? Or like hit the little, the Money in the Bank spot, blow the kiss, and then run out with the belt. Would have been crazy.
I agree. That was my
but
immediate thought.
yeah, but he didn't do it. So I was like, okay, fine. People are mad that Priest wasted the cash in, and I was not mad at that. I was mad, but I was mad more so like results of the match type thing. I wasn't mad that the cash in was wasted because I knew the cash in was going to be wasted once Drew won. What I figured is because I'm thinking longer ahead. If you have someone else, one of those other guys win it, he has to either beat Priest, potentially Priest, Gunther, Cody, or let's just say Solo, who would be the fourth because Solo's fighting Cody, right? So that would be the fourth. Cody's not going to lose to Solo. So now you have Cody, Gunther, and Priest, right? Those three. That means only a few people could have won that belt. You could have either had Jay win, Chad win, or Drew win, or you could have had Andrade, depending on where you're going. Cody's not losing. He wasn't going to lose to Melo, Andrade, or LA. So now it comes down to Drew and them. There's no way Jay is going to cash in on Gunther. They weren't going to have Gunther get cashed in on. You could have had him cash in on Priest, but then that means Priest would have had to beat Gunther. So it had to be wasted. We had to get rid of the briefcase this year. There's no way the briefcase could have been used properly.
I've had a day because last night I was very down on it. I saw Discourse and it's made me ease my thoughts because the Money in the Bank briefcase is weird because yes, it's an instrument to build a new star, but what it really is a motivator for a story, and that's exactly what it did. It moved the CM Punk Drew McIntyre story further, and that is their hottest feud. That is their biggest angle. That's what's going to draw them the most money for.
It didn't need to be moved that further though. I mean,
but
I'm with you.
They did.
I'm with you. The briefcase was not needed this year. That's basically what my point is. If people are mad about this, the briefcase was not needed this year. It would have been impossible to book without without a controversy. It would have been impossible to book. And I think this was the least controversial thing.
I think they could have. I know. I'm going to beat my broken drum. Carmelo could have taken it. He doesn't have to cash in immediately. I think he could have held it for almost the whole 365 days and acted like that is his championship. That he is.
There's no way.
He is the champion.
There's
he is
no
the ace in the hole.
Okay, so Cody has the belt, right? Let's just say Cody holds it.
He won't have it by next July.
He won't have it by next July. We could go. This is what I'm saying. You go through lottery numbers. Not lottery numbers. You go through rosters. Who would all be considered there? If Cody loses, Cody Rock, Cody Roman, Cody Solo. Solo's not beating Cody, so we cut that one off. Cody Cena, Cody Orton, Cody Owens.
Melo's already pinned Randy. Melo had the
he had the debut match against Cody.
He had the endorsement from Cena on the NXT show.
We still got to get Melo Bobby, by the way, when Bobby comes back, because they were
fine. Yeah. But they
no, I just wanted to throw that in.
And he could have cashed it in ahead of time for Cena, and so he could get that moment with Cena, and that's how he gets his shot at Cena.
I don't know. But based on this, Priest.
But basically,
Priest's run is gonna go down. Priest's run is gonna go down weak. It's gonna go down weak. They're gonna have to have Gunther dominate to keep the world heavyweight title high up. Not because Priest is bad himself, but the way that Priest's run is going is not a great run. And since it's the number 2 run, it's looking not that great. And I also have an issue with not just Priest's run, though, because I have an issue with Cody's run as well. Since he won the title, I don't think it is going. Both world heavyweight title runs, to me, don't feel like the best titles on each brand. SmackDown really feels like their best title they don't have that many like SmackDown's title area.
About Cody?
I'm not feeling Cody's run right now.
Yeah, so you're just wrong about this. And
I'm not feeling. Oh, I'm not wrong about it. I'm not wrong about it.
John Cena announcing his retirement from the WWE. I think we all almost cried last night. He came out.
I think I almost did. I think I almost did cry.
This is the last time, and that after this, you can't see me anymore.
Tough.
Which was hard to see
for all of us.
He got to the ring and he did not soothe our minds any. He kind of tiptoed around what he meant, and then he kind of led into that he loves Canada because that's where his wife's from. He wanted to retire in Canada, but then he wasn't actually retiring tonight. He told us about his last and final run, and that he is going to start his final run on the first Raw on Netflix on January 1st, and that he will be in his final Royal Rumble. He will be in his final Elimination Chamber, and it will be his final WrestleMania. What he did not tell us, though, is so everyone in our mind thought that his last match was going to be at WrestleMania. And the tickets prices in everyone's mind rose exponentially. And then he told us that he will answer all and every question that he is asked at the press conference. At the press conference, he went into more detail, and he stated that WrestleMania will not be his final match, and that he is going to go from January to December. So he does a full 12-month run with the company for his final year, and it will be a full final run, which he can interact with as many people as he can, do as much as he can with the company, and he will be doing between 30 to hopefully more than 40 dates, which is nearly every week of the year.
Yeah, so Cena's, I don't think if he's getting the title, he's getting it in like his last.
Someone explicitly asked him, do you have any interest in winning, going for the title again? And he said that, of course he is interested, but he believes that it should be deserved. And then immediately online, it seems like everyone has now pinned him to win the Royal Rumble. And I agree.
Nah.
I think he should win the Royal Rumble. He did shoot down that he will probably not be going heel during this last run, and he wants to be himself for his last run. Which I think in my head that means he's going heel. If you've ever seen Total Bellas or Total Divas,
no, he's got a lot of rules. He's got a lot of rules, but that doesn't mean he's a heel.
I do think we will get a short heel run from him at the beginning, and then wrap it up as kind of a face, if I were to book it. But you never know.
Just keep him face. Exciting. Just keep him face.
Very, very exciting.
Just keep him face.
It's very sad. Who knows? Well, I think we should do a video. We'll probably do a video in the next couple of weeks, fantasy booking his entire run.
Yeah. We'll definitely go to that. We have to spend a whole video on Cena. That's why I'm not saying too much, because
I do think we should probably move past this, because I think we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah, the love I have for Cena
is I think all 5 of our favorite
WD-40 back there, number 1 wrestler of all time for me. So
I think it's everyone in our group's number 1 wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, besides maybe Curtis. I don't know if he never talks about Cena.
Nah, Cena. Curtis likes Cena. No, we'll have Curtis on here for the Cena. I
think Curtis is our number 1.
I'll make sure. It's definitely Jason. Jason's definitely got to be.
We're moving into the
women's Money in the Bank. Tiffany, Io, Chelsea Green, Lyra, Naomi, and Zoe Stark.
So I think this match just moved into 2 different parts. There was part 1 where it seemed kind of
rough,
a catastrophe. Everything was going wrong. Every spot was missing. Everything looked so dangerous. And then all of a sudden, Lyra and Io skyward. And everything after that moment went smoothly. And it turned into one of the best ladder matches. If you cut from that point forward, it's one of the best ladder matches I've ever seen in my entire life.
What was up with Chelsea in the beginning, just staring at the briefcase and trying to set up that ladder? No. Okay, so y'all were saying she was scared of heights, right? Like,
I think it's just her being being goofy.
She was being goofy, but I didn't understand because I think I like turned for a second, and then she's just looking up, and then I was like, "What's happening?" Like it was the confusion was like crazy.
Jumping to reach the briefcase, and
she was jumping to reach. Because then at one point she tried to like hit it and stuff. But I was kind of confused on that part. Not because the goofballs. I think I missed some context. I missed some context of what was happening. I don't know what I was doing. Trying to eat or something.
It was weird.
It was weird, but then it was kind of rough in the beginning. Zoe really did a lot in this match. Zoe did a lot. Zoe gave herself a concussion.
I think Zoe almost died.
Zoe died like 10 times in that match. First off, she hit her head on the ladder doing that springboard. Then I'm pretty sure she fell and hit her head outside too on the table or something. I think she fell and hit her head. Then she did the pile driver with EO.
That is the craziest spot I think I've ever seen in a ladder match my entire life. EO Sky. Well, in WWE, there has not been a pile driver in 11 years. Well, no, 12 years.
Piper Niven just did one.
What?
Didn't Piper do one?
When did Piper Niven do one?
Didn't she do the Piper driver?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
She did it against Bayley. That's a pile driver.
Remember that.
Is that a pile driver though? Yeah, it is.
But basically, EO kind of forgot about that and accidentally did I think she was supposed to do a Michinoku driver and accidentally did a sit-out pile driver off the top of the ladder through a ladder on Zoe Stark, in which Zoe Stark's head pretty much went through the ladder. And EO was so excited she sat in her pose for 25 seconds celebrating about how cool it was.
It was fire though. It was fire. If it would have cut from there to like Chelsea grabbing the briefcase, wouldn't have been mad.
No.
It went to Tiffany pushing her off. That's what's really crazy. It went to Tiffany pushing Chelsea off through 2 tables.
The most beautiful fall off the top of a ladder I've ever seen in my entire life. Literally picture perfect.
Yeah, good turn.
Going from the very top of a ladder inside the ring. Chelsea turned it was like she fell like a feather. She turns to her back and just like slowly comes down through it. It was
smooth.
So perfect. It
now.
Looked terrifying and it was so good. And the right winner won.
Yeah, that was a perfect. Yeah, perfect person to win. Ideal person. Everybody in this match, as much as we said it was rough in the beginning, everybody in this match did what they were supposed to do. Everyone performed how they were supposed to perform. No one, like, there was people that outshined. Like, we're talking about Zoe because Zoe did a lot. And when we say do a lot, the way I say do a lot, I mean like majority of the match, it's you on my screen doing something, either being hit or hitting someone.
Took a lot of
Zoe. I don't even think Zoe. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I don't think Zoe laid down on the outside of the ring for a long time.
I think she just kept back in the ring and taking another move.
Yeah, either getting back in the ring, taking another move, or doing some offense. Because it was like, if someone gets thrown up, somebody's climbing up, the next person to come in the ring, Zoe Stark. Next person to come in, Zoe Stark. It felt like Zoe was in the ring constantly. Like, there was times where I was like there was a sequence where Naomi fought. Naomi was beating everybody up. And then Tiffany came, did the cartwheel thing. Wheelbarrow slammed her. And then...
Oh my gosh, yes. That was so good.
It was nice. And then Naomi disappeared for a little bit. There was a point where Lyra was getting off. And I think after Zoe beat her up, Lyra disappeared. And then EO was probably the second most seen person in that match. Because it was probably Zoe, EO, and then Chelsea Green was gone for Chelsea Green was gone for like 30 minutes of that match. Until towards the end. I would have said Zoe, EO, Tiffany, Lyra, Naomi were mostly seen.
I'd say Lyra over Tiffany.
For doing stuff?
Yeah.
For doing stuff?
Yeah.
Either way, like the gap between the Zoe and everybody else, it felt like Zoe was working. Zoe was working.
She earned her paycheck that night.
Yeah, she earned their paycheck. And like, Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, everyone did great. The way it felt rough, it just felt like a multi-man match. It's like multi-man matches are kind of rough in the beginning because everybody's trying to figure out where to go to get to that spot. So like felt a little bit rough. It felt a little rushed. Like Kevin said, there was a turning point in the match, and from there it just went. Naomi doing the splits, turning it into a DDT. Crazy.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
The ladder was tipping and she was able to
tipping.
save it. It was
crazy.
So
crazy. So that match was really good. And
it was so much fun. I think it was one of my favorite matches I've ever seen.
It was fun. I would say that was my second favorite match. I still think the Sammy Braun Breaker match was still my favorite just because it was comfort and it was something that like in a chaotic show, it was something that I was like, all right, cool. This is something that I can get through.
I'll get into my favorite at the end. And then
we go to, I got it right here. We go from there. We go to the main event. 6-man tag match. We have the new bloodline with Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Solo Sikoa, the tribal chief, Tonga Loa on the outside. And we have them going against Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens.
It was a Monday Night Raw Trios match. It should not have been.
I'm so glad you said something first.
Tonga Loa took a bump and he hit the back of his head on the announce table. I thought he probably gave himself a brain hemorrhage, was going to die mid-match, even though he wasn't wrestling. And then he botched a low blow.
He had a concussion.
Yeah.
There's the concussion for Damian Priest. It transferred to Tonga Loa.
After a night of, I'd say, a very chaotic show. Like everything, like so much was happening throughout this show. We had 2 Money in the Bank matches, which are so much to process. We had a world title match in which there was a cash in, then an attacking, and then a screw job, and everything went down a missed finish. And then you just had a good Sammy Braun match that kept you sucked in. And then this was a match where there was very much a lot of down.
It was time to go. It was time to go.
Solo and Tama Tonga were in the ring and just boring you, and it was, we did not need it. The main problem with it was it's building to SummerSlam, and it made me less excited for the second biggest show of the year.
I think building wise, it was good. Solo attacking Paul Heyman, the bloodline being formed, Jacob showing up, beating everybody up. I think that was good. If you would have did a tag team match, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Tama Tonga Loa, and then Cody versus Solo this night, would have been so much better. I think that would have been so much better, because now when we get to SummerSlam, because Solo and them won, right? Solo, spoilers for that, you guys, if you haven't seen it. The bloodline wins.
Solo pinned Cody too.
Solo pins Cody, number 1. Don't like when champions get pinned. I hate it. I hate it. Solo pins. You make them seem dominant in a match that really wasn't. This match should have been equal to Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus Solo and Tonga Tonga.
That match was good.
At Clash of the Castle. That's what it should have been, and that's what I thought it was going to be. Oh, was that Backlash? Yeah. It was that Backlash. Oh, it was that Backlash because it was in France. That's what I thought it was gonna be, because I was like, oh, we got the storyline with Kevin Owens and his mom. We got Cody ready to beat them up. We got the bloodline ready to blow up. Randy Orton's, so he's already ready to go. Jacob's a wild animal. I thought it was just gonna come out the gates, and I know we do this all the time now with the bloodline and Cody. Come out the gates, fighting in the crowd. Then you probably have Kevin Owens throws in Tama Tonga. They ring the bell. They start going at it. Randy Orton and Jacob still fighting on the side. Cody and them still fighting on the side. Kevin Owens is beating them down. Tonga Loa comes in, tries to interfere. Kevin stunners him. They go through the tables. Kevin jumps off the little thing through a table. Randy Orton's picking everybody up, throwing them. That's what I thought. I thought it was gonna be a chaotic beast, not just a tame normal tag match. How are y'all all so calm? Like,
this might be so. This might not be about the match. The match itself was pretty nothing to me. Everything that happened in it, I feel like, did not motivate any sort of a further story. Did not excite me in any way. I felt like I was watching a throwaway main event that they needed to do in the third hour of Raw, just to fill the rest of the time and seem like you paid for enough for your ticket. That being said, this was supposed to build to SummerSlam. This is why it was the main event. Everyone thought there was going to be someone to come out at the end. I believe WWE completely missed the mark. I think that The Rock was in their head going to be at SummerSlam to face Cody doing that last angle. And now with this whole John Cena retirement, it really does not seem like they are lining The Rock versus Cody up anytime soon, because I believe they're going to load up Cena versus Cody
Rock's
before
hurt
they load
though.
up The Rock Cena. Yeah, he just hurt his elbow with that movie.
Yeah.
Which sucks. And then I believe they also thought Roman was going to be here.
Roman's coming for SummerSlam.
I think they wanted him to be here tonight to build to solo Roman then. And so they could do the Survivor Series of new versus old bloodline.
You can't have Roman. You couldn't have Roman come tonight because you just beat up Paul Heyman last. Yeah, you need Paul Heyman. You need.
It could have been an immediate
recovery for Heyman.
No, Heyman doesn't show up with him. He's doing it for Heyman.
Heyman's got to be there. When Roman shows up, Heyman's gonna walk out and talk first. There's no Roman, and you need the other two bloodline members. So you need Jimmy, and you need Jay.
The only thing I'm excited for, the only thing that this gave me anything for, Kevin Owens versus Jacob Fatu at SummerSlam. That's the only thing. I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't go with Randy versus Cody for SummerSlam. I thought that's what they were building to as well.
We still might be able to get that.
You think they'll just not do the solo Cody thing after having solo pin Cody? Or they'll just do it on a random episode of Raw?
No, what they can do is they can do Randy versus Solo, and then Roman on a random SmackDown. Roman shows up.
You can't do Cody Randy at Bash at Berlin.
Yeah, you can. You could do Cody. You could do Cody Orton. You can do Cody.
Their match. You can't have that outside Gunther Ilya.
It won't.
If that's what they're doing.
It won't.
The build might, though. The match obviously won't, but the build might. And that might be their talking point. Or they might be forced to make that the main event. Which would suck for Gunther. Because if he main events one pay-per-view, they'll have to keep him in that spot. Because they know they can trust him after that.
He's main eventing Berlin. There's no way he's not. There's no way he's not.
Hope. And obviously Ludwig's not going to now that he has a broken rib.
Yeah. I think we get Randy Kevin tag match against Jacob Tamatanga. Then we get Cody solo. I think this match just wasn't great, and this soured the whole Money in the Bank. I think this soured Money in the Bank because I think this was the match that I left. Like after this, I went home, and that was the match that soured it. And like it was already kind of like a rough pay-per-view, and like things were souring it. But this was the match to save it. If any match was going to save it, it was this match, and it didn't deliver on saving it.
I believe if they... So the thing is, all they had to do in my head was have Randy turn on Cody at the end of the match.
I thought he was going to boot him. He was laying down there. Cody had his hands like that. I thought Orton was going to just...
And I think that would have saved it and have Randy go ballistic. Like, punt Kevin, punt Cody, and then just, like, kind of, like, go full, like, 2009 Randy on Cody.
That'd be hard.
I think,
but then he would outshine Solo. Solo's the biggest heel on SmackDown.
I think they have to outshine Solo. I don't know a single person. I have not looked through Twitter. I haven't looked through anything in which someone
I like Solo. I like Solo.
Do you like Solo more than everyone else in the Bloodline?
Nah, in the Bloodline currently, yes.
Oh, do you like anyone more than Solo in the Bloodline?
Currently? Or are we talking about all time? Because all time, you know, all time. Come on now. Sure. The tribal chief. I don't think Solo's my tribal chief. But currently, yes, because Jacob, when people come from outside of WWE, I'm a WWE diehard guy anyway. So when people come from outside, I try to give them inside WWE. I don't look at their outside stuff that much. And other people do, like, you look at the history. I look at you inside WWE. And so far, inside WWE, he's better than Tama Tonga, better than the Tongaloa. So he's better than them two. And then Jacob just had his second match. Or his first match. And I think, I know, and it's tough. But I personally, I'm going to keep it a stack. This all leads back to, I don't like Cody's run. Not because of Cody. Not because of Cody. Not because of Cody. I just think the people that they have him going against.
He's had 2 fantastic matches with AJ Styles.
AJ was good. Also, it just doesn't feel like he has a proper story. And proper rival. AJ was good. Then he had Logan Paul, and now he's got Solo.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel, from what Cody went from Roman to AJ, fine. I knew that.
Randy feud.
That's what I'm saying. From Roman to AJ, I'm fine with, because I already knew that. I said that when he fought AJ. I was like, oh, AJ's a good first opponent for Cody. That's fine. Then you give me Logan, which already I have gripe with. I think Logan is a great competitor. I don't think he's a WWE superstar like that. Everyone's gonna be like, well, he is. He puts on great matches. He does put on great matches, but there's a difference between when a celebrity's doing it and this. I have a whole gripe thing with Logan. I just don't like him in the world title picture. I don't like it. I don't like it. I hate when Roman fought him. Roman had I can go on a whole tirade about this. Roman had a full-fledged match with him and help from the Bloodline to win that match. That pissed me off so fucking much. Everything.
Match of the reign besides the Cody one.
Fuck it, I don't care. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. I will lose my mind on that. Then you go to Solo. And then the first thing you do is this Money in the Bank match. Cody's title run. Cody mixed with Damian Priest's title run. It's kind of feeling like, come on, do something better with the champions. At least. Give me at least.
I guess we can agree that was probably our least favorite match of the night.
That was the least favorite match. I know we're gonna differ on our favorite match of the night.
What's your favorite match of the night?
Favorite match? Yeah, I've been saying it through the whole thing. Favorite match right now is Sammy Braun Breaker, I think. Like I've been saying.
I think it's the only match I'd go back and rewatch. Maybe the men's Money in the Bank, but it's the women's Money in the Bank for me. I thought it was, once you got past that one point, it was spectacular. Even before that one point, it was dangerous. It was fun. It was exciting. It was really cool.
It was, yeah. It was really good. That was my second one.
Years.
That was my second favorite. I think if you ask me just straight up, like gun to my head straight up, what match would I go back to watch? I would say Sammy Braun Breaker.
Sure.
But I would be like, oh no, the women's Money in the Bank was there. Like, it's there. It's not like it's not there. It's just that Sammy match. It was just easy to understand and watch without me having to truly focus. Like, I could shut my brain off, look at the actions, and then click it back on when something happens. When Breaker spears him, when Breaker, went for the spear, got kicked, exploded suplex, all that stuff, I was like, oh, back in it. Even though I knew these points were happening, it was things that I can connect that happened. it made the good match. The match I had in my head was the match that I saw.
Okay, it happens. And
it happens.
The women's match, I think, is some of the spots that I never thought I would see in a ladder match anymore, and it happened. I was excited to see it. But yeah.
Well, I think
not as good as Heat Wave, but it was good.
Not as good as Heat Wave. Heat Wave was good. Heat Wave was good. And it proved that I felt like Heat Wave should have been yesterday. Money in the Bank should have been today when I was watching it. Just because I would have drove up there. We would all watch Heat Wave. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know. But you know, I think we talked a lot about SummerSlam coming up, and that was the next point I wanted to have. I think we went through all of our points on SummerSlam. We would have a whole video about SummerSlam. I think we should get that. We could have a whole separate video about that because the points we have with the storylines that are being built now are crazy.
SummerSlam's not looking very good.
See,
Punk and Drew looks very good, and that's about it. I'm excited to see Gunther win.
No, Bailey Nia is gonna be solid.
It's
plus the Tiffany tease.
Cash in will be great.
The Tiffany cash in
will be fun.
Live Rhea if we get that, which we most like.
I really hope it. I really hope Johnny and Ciampa get a really good match, considering it's in Cleveland. I don't know against who, but hopefully it's something exciting.
Oh, it's Grayson. It's Grayson and Theory again.
No,
it's Grayson Theory. It's Grayson Theory. The breakup. It's the breakup.
I think they'll be broken up before then.
It's the breakup. Theory turns. Theory turns.
Give him something else.
Theory turns. Theory turns. It's the breakup.
Stop running circles. Just do it. Cut it. Pull the trigger. They need to start pulling the trigger earlier. That's my biggest gripe with WWE right now. Stop.
Strowman it.
Why is Chad Gable still with Otis?
Strowman and somebody.
For 6 months. I don't care about Strowman. I hope Strowman leaves.
Strowman and somebody are gonna fight JD and Finn.
I get the belts off JD and Finn. Put it on Julius and Brutus.
No, and then so we could go through a whole SummerSlam list, which we will when we have our points. But I want to stop the video right here. I think this is good points. We went over the week. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this type of content, we have other videos such as our soft ground wrestling videos. You should definitely check that out. It's on the screen right here. It's on the screen right now. You should definitely check that out. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch y'all later.